Hi friends, so welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to start an additional series on RAG, data reorganization. So let's have some recap. So in my on my YouTube channel, if you see this playlist AI Generalist, here I have started with some other videos about RAG, and then the first video was to have RAG different data source collections. So 17 powerful data collection strategies. So let's say you have data from different source, PDF file, web scraping, databases, Excel, PPT, whatever. So that data you are able to collect. Okay, so you can read the file, you can extract the data. Now what next? So next step is this. Next step is to have data reorganization or data cleaning. So in data reorganization, you can read multiple sources. You can read the data from multiple sources, for example, PDF or Excel or whatever. And then the very normal and the very important step is to convert it into some kind of a markup language. So this is Markdown format, where it is basically very simplistic and text-based representation of your original data source. So remember, it is not a data conversion; it is basically changing the format into a Markdown format, and we will see how it is useful. So let's see. So data cleanup and reorganization. So this is the data RAG step 2.1. So we will convert any other format to .md, that is markdown format. By the way, when we go to our github.com, then we have a readme file. So that is a markdown file .md. So just to show you this, this is my GitHub repo, and if you see this readme.md, so this is the markup file. If you just edit the markup file, it looks something like this. Okay, right. So anyway, the source code which I'm going to explain is already available in this repo, and this link is there in the description. Right. So okay, now just for an example, I have different formats of data to be considered. So this is the sample program. I'll come to the program in a bit. So I have this folder, and this folder is data folder where I have some data for a particular company from stock market. So there is Excel, there is a PPT, there is a doc, and there is a PDF. So typically PDF contains a lot of information. So we'll go with PDF for this particular video sake, but we can do it for other format of data. Okay, right. So what is this report one PDF? So just I will show this report one PDF. So this is the data. Okay, this is the PDF data. It is 20 pages, which every time we have to go through PDF, it is a bit costly and time consuming. So what we want is we want to convert this data into a markdown format. Okay, right. So first question is, why do we have to convert it to .md file or markdown format? So it's basically to standardize document formats across a particular project or a particular module, that whatever data we receive, we convert it into a markdown file. So it converts the diverse file types, PDF, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, into uniform format, right? Then preferably for this example, we'll do PDF to Markdown conversion. Then it simplifies downstream parsing and prevents brittle custom code. So this really helps in terms of processing the data for whatever further pipeline of the RAG component. So what are the other RAG components that we will see in a couple of next videos, but for now, just try to understand, it is making our life easy. Okay, so what is an MD file? It's a markdown file. Okay, again, it's a kind of a markup language. So MD file .md. Markdown is a lightweight markup language. Okay, allows you to format text using simple and readable syntax, commonly used for documentation and note taking. Okay, and text files that end with a .md file. So this is important. It's basically a text file with a .md extension and some formatting. Okay, so right. So now let's see a demo. So one demo, what we will see is how to convert a PDF into .md file. Okay, right. So this is the code. Okay, so standardized. Yeah, this is what we have seen. So we have a package in Python called as Markdown, which will help us to convert any other file to a Markdown file. So I have this folder where I have these four files, and these four files I want to convert into MD file or Markdown file. right? So there's a sample code, so standardized to markdown file, and basically I have to initiate this class instance and then just call the convert, and there's a exception handling. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm using a for loop, and every file I'm iterating and convert it into a markdown file and then dumping into one uh, markdown file with .md extension, as simple as that. Okay, all right, so let's just run this. Okay, because the PDF is 20 pages, so it will take some time. Okay, yes, finished, right? So let's see now. These markdown files were not there earlier. If you see, these were generated right now. So we'll see this report MD file for the sake. So this is a 20 page PDF file converted into an MD file. So we see the formatting. Okay, so everything is separately mentioned here. Okay, and this is a default Python conversion, so it will be using some standard techniques to convert it into MD file. Sometimes it may not look appealing to human eyes, but it is good for the machine to process. So let's proceed. Now this is the basic crux of the converting something into a markdown file: Excel, PPT, Doc, and PDF to a markdown file. Now, now this conversion is done. Now from the um, testing perspective, like whether the markdown is completed properly, because we cannot simply trust on this markdown file. Okay, markdown library. This will help us in a bit, but then we need to also see whether the excuse me, whether the content from the original file is available in the MD file. So for that I have a test file. Okay, this is also there in the GitHub repository. So what I've done here is, see, one thing is this is a straightforward conversion, but now we want to verify whether the MD content is really what is there in the PDF, okay, and is it true conversion into Markdown. So how to test this? Now, one thing is we can do manual testing, okay, but manual testing every time is not possible. It is having gross error, human error. So we need to have an automated approach. So what is the automated approach is, there are multiple approaches, multiple libraries, but I have chosen the LLM way, the Olama uh, AI model I've used. So what will happen is, using the Olama, to this Olama or large language model, I will pass on the content of PDF, not the MD file, content of the PDF, and I will ask it to generate some question and ground truth. Now, this question and ground truth is basically something related to RAG assessment framework, RAGAS. Okay, so we will see the RAGAS thing in a bit in for forthcoming videos. But for now, I'm using this LLM to generate the question and ground truth. And what I will do, I will verify the ground truth is available in the MD file. Okay, so this is ground truth is generated from PDF file, and the MD file is also generated from PDF file. So those both I am doing a cross check. Now how many ground truth or how many things I will verify? So I've taken one number, let's say 10. Okay, so yeah, how many items to verify? Let's say 10 items to verify. Right. Now again, I'm saying this is one of the approach. We can have different approaches, so I'm choosing the one which is from the LLM. Okay, so I have this Ulama setup. I have this API key which you can generate freely, and I'm using this GPT cloud model, 120 million billion parameters processing. So this is quite a very large model, and then some other models I'm using for text embedding and so on. So this is some technical setup. We have to do environment setup and all, and we have to write one prompt. So what is the prompt? Prompt is basically to interact with the Olama or the large language AI model, that I am going to provide you a particular content. From this content, I want you to generate uh, question and ground truth. Okay, and these are some additional things that be act as a Raga's expert, analyze some content, do not round up the numbers, be simple and straightforward. So these are some 7 to 8 instructions I have given, and I have asked it to generate uh, question and ground truth, and then generate for 10 items. Okay, we can make it, let's say 20 items, but for now I'm using 10. Okay, so we'll see what is happening here. Okay, so I'm reading the PDF content, and then I'm reading the MD file also. So yeah, this is the MD file and this is the PDF file. Okay, we can do it for Excel, but I'm doing it for now for PDF. Okay, and then LLM integration. So I'm uh, calling the REST API to the Olama model, and then I'm passing the prompt or the payload and then getting the response. Okay, so response I have specifically told have the response in the JSON format, and then there's some extra uh, garbage characters that I'm going to remove, and then finally I have a response data. Now I have asked it to generate it as a JSON, and then basically top 10 items. If you see 10 items, so it will be an array. It will be an array. Okay, response data JSON array, and that array I'm going to iterate, and from that array I'm going to take the ground truth and verify that the ground truth is available in the MD file text. Okay, if not found, then I will increase this count, and let's see uh, how many how many contents or how many ground truths are not found in the uh, MD file. Okay, right. So let's get started. So one more thing here is to use the LLM. We need to have the LLM key, and that LLM key, basically I'm using Olama OpenAI model, so it is giving some free credit, so that I'm going to use, and probably it is sufficient for practice purpose. Right. So I am at a stage where I have read the PDF file, then I've read the MD file, and now I'm calling the LLM. Okay, so for LLM, I'm going to pass this prompt. Okay, so prompt. So this is a prompt. Act as this thing, whatever we discussed just now. So this is a big prompt, and then provide for top 10 set. Okay, right. And after that, I have to pass the content of the PDF file. So content of the PDF file starts like this. Okay, right. So there is a limit, but for 20 pages of the PDF, it is still sufficient. Okay, so now let's do one thing. We will call this API post API. Okay, so we got the JSON array. Okay, so you see there are 0 to 9, that is 10 items. Okay, and it has generated some question based on the PDF content and the ground truth. Okay, so if you see, this ground truth is mainly about the numbers. Okay, but sometimes it can be some text also. Okay, some non-number, but it's a text, right? Okay, so now what we are going to do the same thing, that we have something generated by LLM, and we have something uh, is there in the MD file, so we are going to cross check. Okay, and that we are doing it for 10 items. Okay, so there is a for loop, and I'm going to continue in the for loop, and whenever there is a not found, it will stuck here. So let's see. Okay, so for the count which is n equal to 0, it is not found. Okay, next. Right, so if you see here how many not founds are there, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 not found. And let's finish the program. Right, so let's see what are the things which are not found. So these are basically, as I said, are numbers. Okay, now it might so happen that those numbers are rounded off. Okay, and this is coming from LLMs. There is no so we have to fine tune our prompt, but then this is coming randomly from the LLM, and then we have to accept. Okay, so let's do one thing. Instead of numbers, we will do once again, and let's see if this is something coming from LLM as a non-numbers, and then let's see how many items are not found. Okay, so if you see this time it found almost all the items because there is an exception, so everything is found. Okay, now you see this is because of the comma and the dots. Okay, that's what I was thinking. If you see the earlier one, the basic one, if you see this, there is not no comma, no dots. Okay, so that probably some error from the LLM side, which is fine. So in second round we see that it's 100% matching. Okay, so like this we can do for PDF file content, we can do it for uh, document, PPT, and other things. Right, we can do for multiple files. So right, so that is all about data reorg from something to MD file. If you like this video, please share, subscribe, and share my channel. Thank you.